Hey, old man, is there a chair open? Great. Yeah, I know it's been a while, but it's like crazy out there, just like you used to warn me. I know, but do me a favor, take your time, cause I'm in no rush, and just tell me those things you used to tell me when I was a little boy. Give me the usual.
A little off the top stuff. What's so hard for life to make some sense, man? Making ends meet, can't get to sleep, so I'm worried. So, old friend, won't you lend me a hand? And I help the children try to understand. A little off the top. Don't stop. A little off the top.
Yes. Let me remove my coat here since we're in the barbershop. I'm gonna get my hair cut. Here, let me be good. Once y'all guys don't mind, loosen my tie here. There was one incident that I was kind of highly shaken. This fellow went home, and we had to put him out of school because of his misbehavior, and because he had missed a couple of days.
Oh, man.
And
You all right, baby?
Yeah. Tired of it. Go.
see, well, you getting back?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, what took place was that the mother brought the child back, and the mother was sitting in the principal's office trying to explain to get her child back in school. It happened to be a son. And what happened, the son began to look at the mother and began to tell you, now, Mom, what did I tell you to say when you get here to school?
Oh,
Mother said, I can't lie for you. You know that you were out, you stayed out all night, you stayed out several nights from the house. And so the mother began to try to tell the truth. That's what happened. He says, now, you are a so-and-so lie, Mom. And he slapped his mother right there in the office. Slapped his own mother.
See, that's just it.
And so we got up and tried to restrain this boy.
Not the way, man.
And then all of a sudden, we say, well, okay, the interview is over and everything, and we're going to let him back in, but you promise us.
You know what I'm saying?
All right,
I ain't trying to. I see y'all.
Yeah, okay.
Got to go. I ain't trying to
Yeah,
miss the
listen,
story.
I know you
man.
got to go.
Yeah, nice
Take
meeting
good
you.
care.
Nice meeting you.
Nice
too,
meeting
okay?
you too.
All right, I see y'all
Save
guys.
some of the later friends out there.
Yeah, you need to get some more barbers in. You can tell them they need to get a job. Where you going this weekend, man? Where you at this week?
I really don't know, but I call you so we can hang out, though.
Man, I ain't hanging out with you, man. You know my wife ain't here now.
That's what's wrong with your wife.
Save some of you women out there for me. So actually, got back outside, we let him back in and everything, and he still wanted to attack his mother.
Just line
He
me
picked up a brick, large brick, and threw it at his mother and happened to miss his mother at the time. So we told him, listen, son, that kind of behavior, we cannot even let you back in.
How old was
So
this
we
kid?
called the boy, this boy was 13.
That's a shame.
13. We called the officers there, and they came and got him, took him down to juvenile. That was one of my worst incidents I'd ever seen a child challenging his mother. And
I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what about that?
I really think that's bad. See, that's lawlessness.
Yeah.
And things.
You know what
Go
about
back
that?
to the respect.
Most parents sit there after their child has done something like that. They turn around, let them get locked up, then go back and get them out, my baby in jail.
Yeah.
Them letting them sit there a couple of days and learn.
That's right.
But you know, you can go to some parents and say, I saw your child break in the stove. My child didn't do this.
Yeah.
Your child did do that. I'm looking at it.
Because they feel their child didn't do it, or they don't know, think they got a good child,
Child.
but really don't know their child.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Well,
then they know him.
No,
but
they know
what
the
do
child
is
did
they
it.
cover up.
That's, I
know,
told that story to show you that where they do cover up, and then
Yeah.
sometimes they don't.
Right.
But a lot of times parents do cover up for the misbehavior of their children.
Well, see,
And
sometimes
I think a lot of this problem comes from parents.
It does.
But don't they have some kind of law that if, like a child, like they have these curfew laws? Like I know when I was living in Atlanta.
Yeah.
If a child is out on the street at a certain time at night, he gets picked up by the police. Police would take him home and arrest the parent.
That's right.
Now see,
That happens after
Well, we have
certain
a
number of
curfew.
times.
After a
Here,
certain number of times.
we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, we have a
Now, but the
curfew.
first time, I think they're like giving a warning.
Warning.
And the second time, the parent is notified on the warning also.
Right.
But the parent The second time, the kid is actually taken out to the juvenile facility.
Right.
And, you know, they have to go through all that. The parents come and sign them out and take them back home. But their parents also giving that warning. Also, this kid called the third time, that parent was also going to be given a fine, plus either some J's in jail or some other things might happen to them. But I'm not that well versed on that law because in this city we don't have a curfew for our kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's in Atlanta and some of the other major cities. We have a juvenile problem here in this city, but it's not as bad. But we do have one.
But I tell you what, that help lock them parents
It's
up a couple
effective.
times.
But you lock them up, but my thing is right here, it goes back to the home.
Yeah.
People have to start raising their kids. This Bro Willis right here, he can't raise that child.
Because they
He
don't
can
agree on
only
certain
teach
parts
this
of the
child
day.
the lesson plan that he has for that day,
Exactly.
for that year.
That's right.
I can't teach a child.
That's right.
I can only help a child.
That's right.
And help him with service in the community and stuff of that nature, and show him what the law allows him to do.
Right.
And try to help him live within those boundaries. So,
You know the main thing I really hate is when they ask us, when we come on the scene and they ask us, if there were no policemen, you know, we wish when the police called, y'all, we are corrupted.
Right.
The
Well, that's
precinct is
true.
corrupted.
That's
But,
true.
and I tell them, I say, put it like this. Picture if there was no law,
Yeah.
you would be dead right now compared to where it is now.
Right.
Or hurt. Or missing.
a lot of times when I went on calls, and people like ask you, what are you here for?
Yeah.
You know, they could be a
Lawlessness.
full-blown domestic situation, and it's more or less people. We come to anybody that calls with any time they need help, and the majority of the time, you get a lot of people look at police and they think about what they see on certain TV shows, and they think that police corruption is a really big thing. I would think police corruption is more or less the individual officers having some form of greed and wanting to have extra things that they might not be able to afford or get with a paycheck that they're making in the department, and they go at these things.
Okay, then it goes back.
It goes back to just plain, just same good moral values.
One bad apple.
One bad apple make the whole group look bad.
And it can make the whole, can distort the whole thing about police officers. Because see, right now, it seems to be a negative thing going on across this country with black policemen and white policemen. And it's being blown out of proportion by the media.
Several things
Okay,
have
so,
happened.
so, you know, how does that affect your job? Because see, now kids they're looking at cops. They say, well, the cops ain't no better than we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got
I
white
guess that
cops
a lot.
over here beating up the black assailants, trying to, you know, beat them to death in the middle of the street right in front of everybody. You know, and then the black cops, they got to stand back and still, you know, watch this go on or not. If they say anything about it, it's almost like a code of silence that, you know, we ain't gonna talk about it. You know,
Let me ask you a
builds up
provoking
this whole
question.
thing. You know,
Let me ask you a provoking question. Now, you're a law enforcement, and do you think that policemen have become too familiar with the community? I mean, let me just tell you some things I have seen. Policemen trying to develop this human relationship with the community, especially with our 6th and 7th and 8th graders. And oftentimes I know the policemen like to show that they are good working people and so forth. But then again, they come in, and then our youth, they let them pick with the belt sometimes, the badge sometimes. I've even seen one officer, which I won't quote his name enough, I've let him see him take his weapon out without bullets in it.
Well, I hope
and let the kids even look at the guns. And so therefore, that fear, that wall of fear between the police officer and the child has diminished because the police, he's too familiar with what the policemen do.
I'll tell you one thing.
Especially when they come in to the different classrooms, which I
Answer
think
one of
is
your
good.
questions.
this chair here.
To
Okay.
answer one of your questions.
You can stay right there. You can stay.
You can stay right there in that side. You can do the next.
Okay.
To answer one of your
Which chair you
questions.
want?
No, you can sit right
Sit
there.
right there, all right? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I need to ask that question because I think kids are not afraid of law enforcement anymore, which I do think that
Well, we
wall
don't want-
still needs to be there.
We don't want our kids to be afraid of us. We want them to be able to come up to us and tell us what's going on.
But there are two ways to control
But I would tell
human
you,
beings. Either
it-
a reward or a punishment.
I can tell you, I believe that, and I truly believe in that.
Yeah.
My major problem with that is though, you don't want a child to be able to, not to be able to come up to you and say, well, something's going on, maybe be in my family, I need to give you some information. To answer one of your other
Yo,
questions.
Walter, where Carlos at, man?
I have no idea. I've been waiting on him for hours.
I'll be back in 10.
All right.
But like in the city that I work with, we're a community policing city where we unlock doors, cars. A lot of cities don't even do that anymore. But going back to the question about where kids are being more familiar with the police, we want a child to be able to come up to us and say anything like, this man maybe be touching me, this man tried to make me get in a car. You want kids to come to the police. We're just an extension of the family. Cities are now getting to the point of where in this city, we're so small, everybody's either related, everybody know each other.
Right.
And you got a lot of officers that grew up within this neighborhood and knew and know all the people that are in this city.
But you know what too though? Now this is something that I noticed because I came from a family where I was married to a family where most of the men were police officers. But most of their sons stayed in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, they did all of the drugs, and then I gotta tell you, I know they fathers had to know about it. But see, the thing was that they took advantage of their fathers and their uncles being cops. You know what I'm
Being able to
saying?
go and sign them out.
Yeah, to be and even to cover up
Well,
for them. So I mean, it's it's the same thing. I mean, you
A
just
lot of
gotta,
times when you get situations like that, an officer will look at that other officer and say, well, I would appreciate,
Yeah.
you helping me out in this certain situation. But
Right.
you got to look at the law.
That's
The
what I'm
law
saying.
is just plain and simple. If you break the law, you got recourse.
right.
You got to go abide by these laws or
Exactly.
something else is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
May it be fun to you,
Right.
might not be fun to you because there's going to be certain disciplines that you're going to have to go on. But I think with that in mind, I wouldn't ask another officer if my son or daughter went out there and did something wrong.
Right.
They have to suffer the consequences of their actions.
Exactly.
But you like you said, another officer will feel, and I can only speak for myself.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
feel that officer's pain.
Yeah.
This is my job,
Exactly.
and I know what you're going through, but I know you got to do your job. And that's all police work is. It's a job.
Exactly. It is a
Yes,
job,
sir.
but
Can I ask you another provoking question?
Yes.
And tell me, straighten me out if it's true. I was talking to a police officer one day after school, and he told me that they're more, that 13 and 14-year-old kids, they are more fearful of them than a 17, 18, and 19-year-old child. Simply because 13 and 14-year-old kids seem to want to challenge the law enforcement.
True.
One thing,
Officers more so. And he says, if I were to challenge a kid at that age, and then all of a sudden the kid don't want to obey, and the kid is shooting at me with a weapon. Of course, a weapon will kill you. He says, let's look at the headlines. Police officer shoots a 12 or 13-year-old child. Would that look bad?
well,
Okay.
quite
Do you think
naturally,
that would look bad?
quite naturally, the newspapers are going to print that just like
Yeah,
that two-cell newspaper,
Exactly.
without looking over the entire scheme of the whole investigation
Right.
But
or the whole
does that,
problem.
well, what I'm saying is that, would that make you fearful to challenge a
it
12 or
puts-
13-year-old kid?
It puts a lot
It
of
puts
pressure.
a lot of
It puts a
pressure.
lot of pressure on
I
us.
come to this job every day want to go home. That's my job every day is to go home. People don't realize or think that police officers are just like bro Walter here, this man here. We want to go home and see our family. A 13-year-old out there with a weapon, you got to think about a person that's young first, but he has the means to harm you with a weapon. Just as much as bro Walter would have one. If he had one, it was just the same way. That weapon's in the hand of a person that can hurt me. I'm gonna protect myself, and I'm gonna protect the public.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Bird, let me ask you a question. You got Bird, right? Do you carry a weapon?
I'm supposed to, but sometimes by me working on the college campus,
You don't.
I don't.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. By you not having a weapon, does that pose less of a threat to a seller? Somebody like, a lot of times people just come up on campus, okay?
Okay.
And when they on campus, they might be up here to do something wrong, and then you may have a situation, you don't have a gun.
Okay, so the problem is that how I handle that, which I have been gotten on about.
Yeah.
I try not to carry a weapon on campus, on the college campus, because we're here to learn. We're here to learn.
Bro, y'all, it's good seeing y'all, man.
Hey,
Excuse me,
man.
y'all, bro.
Hey,
Bro, my man's good seeing you, man.
Hey,
Take care of yourself.
You too, man.
You know
Don't
what I'm
get in
saying?
no trouble out
Good
there.
seeing you,
Take care, Officer
man.
Cole.
Good seeing you, man.
Good
You
to see
still
you.
looking good.
Well,
Now,
how are
Walt,
you?
get some magazines in here, man.
I'm gonna bring it out.
Say this jet, what is this? This jet been in here since 71, man.
And you need to be careful out there. Be careful. All right, goodbye.
Now, basically what I was saying is,
You can't drive.
we're here to learn.
Right, that's true.
We're here to learn. My job should be easy, just to let you on campus, get your work and go.
Yeah.
But
that's,
I know what you're saying,
That's
but-
kind of, I hear what you're saying, but let me tell you the incident that happened to me when I was in college.
Okay.
I had a roommate. He carried a gun to class every day because he came from a city where he had to carry a gun, but he couldn't get that out of him. And one day we was having this party, and he ended up at the party with the gun, and then it was a fight broke out, and he gave his gun to another guy. The guy went in the party, fired off a couple of rounds, and then the police came, and then they didn't have no guns. I mean, they arrested him, but they arrested him because he had bullets in his pocket. But I mean, the whole thing was that he carried the gun around school because he knew that the cops, or the people that were supposed to be security guards, didn't have any guns. And I'm sure he was not the only one who had a gun. So I mean, nowadays it's kind of naive to think that just because you're on a college campus or you're in a learning environment, that people still don't carry a gun.
That's true. That is
And
true.
then incidences
That's
like
true,
that don't
because
happen.
Now, in his defense, is that a trend or was that an exception?
I mean, I don't know. That was just,
An exception.
that probably was an exception.
Yeah,
but
not
I mean,
the norm. See,
think about it too. That there was a time too. What school was that? Your boy was on top of the gun, on top of the building, shooting down, and just kicking off kids. That was in Texas.
That was in Texas.
I mean, these types of incidents happen. You know what I'm saying? And then,
But generally, when a person gets to college, they're somewhat, if they're paying, they're somewhat controlled, they're somewhat mature.
Right.
I can see it on maybe a place in high school or a lower school or some place where the kids. But generally, when most people get to college, I would say that's an exception in the case, because most people when they get to college, I mean, they're paying out a lot of money and to get their education, and therefore they probably would not normally do that.
yeah, but,
But
see, you gotta
in his
think about it,
defense,
though.
it
But see,
looks kind of.
historical
I know it looks
I
bad.
know what you're saying. I know what you're
Most
saying.
historical black
I know
colleges
what
I know of, they are located right in
The inner city.
the inner city,
Yeah.
right in the hood. So there is no control over who comes on and off
Yeah.
campus. So I'm saying, all I'm saying is that not normally a student would, cause that kind of problem.
So-
But there are people who are vagrants who walk around and it cause problems within, and then you got students who want to buy drugs and things like that. These activities are happening.
Aren't you next?
Yeah, it's hard.
You just want to fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's good.
I know what you're saying, but I'm explaining like this. Some of us feel that we don't need to. We can really talk to some of the students and all that. Sometimes we, can't really talk to some of the students. Like sometimes I might have to go back to the front, which I don't like to take my gun out when I'm on college campus.
Right.
Because I feel I don't need it. But I have had some incidents where people had guns and stuff. I really have.
Yeah, I hear you.
But my job is to protect everyone on here, not even myself.
Right.
But I gotta look at everything that my boss and everyone tells me what to do,
Yeah.
because I'm under their roof.
Just got my check. Ain't
I get you.
no tab, man. Running no tab in the. Then they holler about newspapers and magazines. They don't want to get no money. See what I'm saying?
I feel you.
No, I
Don't
get
hit
you.
the
Put on the
bad 200,
tab.
you busting by
Well, you know I'm good, boy. You know
You know they good for?
You know you want that free ticket to the game.
You mean to tell a little graphic about him with our barber? A little graph? Yeah, my goodness.
But
Yeah.
basically I understand what you're saying about the incident and stuff.
But some people just feel that on the college campus you don't need it.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to feel free on a college campus.
Well, what about that incident when they was shooting over here at the school one day? During the
That
concert?
incident. Okay, I was one of the officers there, but the problem is this. I didn't think nothing would happen.
Right.
That day they caught me, but I had to call for backup.
Yeah.
You know, but I was scared myself.
Right.
But right then, I just kind of prayed to the Lord. I hope I can get out of this one.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's that one incident that you may not think anything may happen, and it does.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get to is protection. You can never be too sure.
That's right.
Okay, and you can always say, well, I'm in this safe haven because I'm on this college campus and these kids going to school, you know, they ain't worried about this kind of violence or whatever. And as soon as you get comfortable with that, boom, there it is. And that person that probably started that incident, I'm quite sure was not a student.
Yeah.
But they was somebody who came on this campus. Because you can't check everybody. You can't check everybody coming in and out, you know, that started this incident.
You're right.
Just like at the parks and stuff. You got kids out there shooting at each other at parks.
That's true.
Things like that going on.
But basically what I'm saying is it all reflects to my boss.
Yeah.
They really don't want us to wear it.
Yeah.
You know,
I understand,
but we
Let
do
me ask
keep
you
them
a-
now. We do keep them.
Let me ask you a national trend. I mean, everybody admit that there's a degree of lawlessness throughout the nation.
Right.
How do y'all feel about some sort of caning, like they did over in the other, you know, where they take your cane if you act up or misbehave in society?
Oh, you talking about like
you
in
think
China?
that'll work? You think that'll work here in the United States?
But see, I don't think that don't fit.
I'm asking.
Oh, if
you
the
know,
laws
but-
were permitted.
Well, if the law were more stricter, or things that we do in society was a lot less
Well, let me ask you a
freedom,
question.
but more restrictive.
I hear exactly what you're saying. Does the death penalty work?
No.
Does
So
no,
see what I'm saying?
definitely
Some
don't
people got
work.
death
There's
penalty.
some merit to death
So I
penalty,
mean, you know, if you tell somebody you're gonna cane them, but you tell a guy he go out and shoot somebody, you're gonna kill him, and that's a reality. They still not stopping. They still going out in these states that allow the death penalty. They still going out doing these same types of crimes. So I mean, I don't know.
So you're saying the death penalty don't work?
I'm saying it don't work because
Really?
because you got all these people on death row.
I realize that there's
You know?
been some little unfairness toward blacks and whites. Blacks get it more so than whites.
Right.
But you got to look at the death penalty does stem the tide of lawlessness throughout.
You gotta have that.
You have to have some sort of great punishment.
Oh, I
People
agree.
have to learn that there are consequences to their actions.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing about it. I'm just saying that some people still ignore the fact that there is a death penalty.
They don't
So
care.
caning, to me, is just like a lighter form of that. That they're gonna still ignore it. It
It's
don't
just
matter.
something that they look at.
But it has stemmed the tide of lawlessness in other countries. I wonder why it wouldn't work here.
Because America is you got so many rights and you got so much freedom in America, and in some of these other countries you don't, like over in Saudi Arabia.
But
if you even smoked a joint, they caught you with a joint in
But-
Saudi Arabia, they kill you.
True, but then
No, that's
again,
a
at the
different
same
thing.
time, they don't have the same. I'm saying with the tightening of this freedom that we have.
Right.
If we were to go back to more of a stricter and law,
I think
and
it-
people knowing the consequences of their actions is going to be swift, quick. You don't have to go through these long
But
trials.
I really think it'll
how
work. I really
strict
think
can
it'll
you
work.
get?
I don't know. I'm only
To a
saying.
limit. You
You
got
know,
to.
you have,
You got a
there
limit.
is no
You
limit
got a limit.
because
But
They
but
go-
things can't go on like they are and still exist.
regardless, it's gonna happen either way.
Yeah, but we're trying to curtail it.
You can't curtail that.
I think it goes back to one
I
simple
think
thing,
it
and
is.
people
I
need to
really
get
do.
started
I
in
don't
their
think
life. They need to get some spirituality up in their life and realize that,
I think spirituality will work, but then again, at the same time, for those that are not so spiritual, what about them? We gotta come down to more, I think, to me, more stricter laws. Curtailing some of the freedoms. If curtailing some of the freedoms, let me tell you how I feel about that. But wait a minute, I think curtailing some of the freedoms, if it's going to save majority of us, than to have for people to have this freedom. I'd rather have the strictness rather than the whole lot of freedom. Really, because I mean, it is still the tide of lawlessness in other countries. I think it will work here perfectly.
But America is
You
not
got
like
me
that.
blocked in, man. I've been out here waiting on
I
you
gotta
for
go
20
anyway.
minutes.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
man,
I
I
gotta
need his hands on that party, man.
I see you
I'm
later.
trying to get out
Bye.
here. Man, I got to come back
Okay,
down
good.
here,
Come
man.
back to me,
I know
Jason.
the station that I ain't worried about it, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, come on, let me out,
Don't
man.
forget, I get them
I'm trying to
tickets to you.
find you, boy. See you. Man.
Two law enforcement officers going at it.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, but I just, that's my own personal.
Yeah. But
Because
see,
I'm not trying to push it off on anybody, but I just see how things are going on. And I'm saying that with a whole lot of freedom, and we don't have nothing to say consequences to our actions, I mean, we're gonna really be in trouble, you know? You ready for me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want a good part here. Straight, I think half of it was just about gone anyway, so on his head.
Well, I don't know, because it seems like to me that crime is getting worse, and it's getting, the people that are committing these crimes are getting younger and younger.
Yeah.
And then too, when you think about it, a majority of the crimes that are committed within family. You see what I'm saying? They're domestic. And so, you know, it's hard to even think about it because kids now, man, I'm afraid of 12, 13, 14 year olds, man. I'm afraid of them.
Well, I'm in at 9 o'clock. I see it.
Man, I'm gonna end up getting fired, man. I ain't gonna never get the roll call. Leave my phone, man.
You're trying to hurry up out of it, that's the problem.
Y'all take it easy.
Okay,
Okay,
All right,
Officer
now.
Cole, take good care. Good to see you.
You too.
See, I just feel that if we just keep having freedoms and giving everybody freedom, I think, you know, students have freedom, teachers have freedom, rights, you know, this got freedom, parents have rights. I mean, we just can't go on. I mean, and I was just looking at the controversial things that we have in our society. Can we go on giving everybody freedom and then have an ordered society? See, you can't do that and still exist as an ordered society.
And don't stop. Just a little off the top, pop, don't stop with the knowledge like college, graduating with honors, and you've been there, done that degree, now bless the ones proud, forgive the arrogant me, I admit I was blind, yo, put me up to see, yo, whatever you charge, it's alright with me, give me a little off the top, don't stop, a little off the top.